yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and taste it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Takes a thing to see. Rage is like a weed.
Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back to a very special edition episode of the Lightning Flash Update, as we are live here across 3 different platforms, across 3 different accounts, and we're ready to have a good time. As per usual, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the author of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, August 24th, 2024, as we are getting set for AEW All In tomorrow afternoon, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I hope you guys are set and ready for a fun night of action tomorrow. If you're over there in London, I hope you have a great time. But if you're here in the chat, I greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much to the DG70. Thank you very much to D9. Thank you very much to the Final Hoss. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are all fantastic, as per usual. We certainly have a lot to talk about. Including Jay White. Jay White is cleared. And he could be making his return to AEW imminently. There are plans for him to return to AEW programming very, very soon. Charlotte Flair is expected back from her knee injury, which has kept her out since December of last year. Bryan Danielson, no longer under contract with AEW, and what are his plans following his in-ring retirement, should it be tomorrow? Ricochet has signed a full-time, multi-year deal with All Elite Wrestling. Scott D'Amore has recruited the greatest commentator of the modern era in Mauro Ranallo. He is going to be the new voice of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, Scott D'Amore's new promotion. Darby Allin is being considered for an AEW World Heavyweight Championship title run. And Swerve Strickland, he is currently renegotiating his contractual obligations with AEW. We could be getting Swerve signed for another couple more years. And Ricky Starks, Ricky Starks is a topic of discussion here in the IWC. Ricky Starks could be brought into NXT as soon as his AEW contract is over. Apparently, according to Tony Khan, Ricky Starks is still under contract with AEW. He is not being used. We do not know the reason, but I think we can all pretty much guess the reason. Ricky Starks has one foot out the door, so therefore Ricky Starks is probably going to be held off of TV until his contract is up, which sucks. Pretty petty if you ask me. WWE does the same thing, but either way, we are going to see what happens in the near future, if Ricky Starks is going to be let out early or not. Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. I've been on vacation since Tuesday, and I will be going back to work next Tuesday, so I'm going to enjoy the next couple of days off, and I'm going to relax. If you guys have not already done so, please make sure you follow me on both X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, that is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. It is incredibly vital that you do so. Incredibly vital that you do so because if you do, that way I will gain more supporters week by week by week, month by month by month. We are currently over 2,600 subscribers as we speak, and we are looking to keep our foot on the gas and gain more and more and more and more supporters as the months go on. As we are closing out the summer of 2024, you guys are going to want to be with me for every step of the way. It is absolutely fucking massive, especially when you're riding with DJ Shizzle Dizzle. Of course, follow me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. You could check me out on Facebook. You can follow my personal Facebook account. My personal Facebook account is in the link, as well as the link to the Rumble account, which we are live on right now. For collaborations and business inquiries, please make sure you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all those links are in the description. You can also donate to my Venmo. My Venmo is at DJ Storms. And of course, Cash App. Cash App is the DJ Storms. Please go and check me out ASAP. On top of that, please make sure that you get your DJ Storms merch, whether it be wristbands, t-shirts, or the greatest piece of merch that you will ever own, the DJ Storms Switchblade Comb. It is incredibly vital that you get this DJ Storms Switchblade Comb, because when you do, just like me, you will be scrumptious, delicious. Everyone's going to want a piece of you, just like they want a piece of the Storms Meister. You will be absolutely scrumptious in every sense of the word. Of course, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And of course, hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you are going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, you better believe that it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube, because it is the only time that you are going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful, beautiful mustache right here. Of course, you do have to remember that you need to get your tickets for Battle in the Borough. Battle in the Borough, the first wrestling event in the Elmwood Park Rec Center in over 5 years. I call myself the history maker. Now I'm going to show you exactly why I am a motherfucking history maker. You are going to want to come on down. You are going to want to be a part of history on Saturday, October 19th, 2024 in the Elmwood Park Rec Center. We already got a great card announced. We're going to go over the matches a little bit later, but I would like to welcome a couple of new sponsors. I'd like to welcome a couple new sponsors to the brand, a couple of new places that are sponsoring Battle in the Borough 2024. Here's a word from your boy regarding Elmwood Dental Professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are looking for some quality dental care, have I got the place for you. For almost 40 years, Elmwood Dental Professionals has been one of the top-tier premier dental practices in Bergen County. Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and their entire team have employed a standard of excellence in personalized dental care, which combines uncompromising safety with extensive training and expertise. This enables them to provide the quality dental services that their patients deserve. As a practice, they are true believers that preventative care and education are the keys to optimal dental health. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve to make your visits as comfortable and pleasant as possible. Elmwood Dental Professionals, creating beautiful smiles, then, now, and forever. Thank you very much to Elmwood Dental Professionals for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough. Dr. David Eidman and Dr. Daniel Eidman are two excellent human beings, as well as the entire team over there at Elmwood Dental Professionals. And I hope to see all of the people of Elmwood Dental Professionals and, of course, any customers of Elmwood Dental Professionals to come on down to the Elmwood Park Rec Center for Battle in the Borough. James Punisecca recently just joined the chat, and I would like to wish a very special happy birthday to Mr. James Punisecca. Thank you very much for the support, and I hope that you have a wonderful birthday today. Tomorrow, you're going to get a big birthday gift because tomorrow is AEW All In from London starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You were going to go out. You were going to want to go out of your way to watch AEW All In. We got a great show on tap. Another new sponsor that I would like to welcome is the Ruggla Shop. They're on Route 46 in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Please listen to this word from your boy regarding the Ruggla Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'm coming here with one of the best kept secrets in Bergen County, the Ruggla Shop. For the last 10 months, this place has been serving up some quality baked goods, including chocolate chip cookies, pecan sandies, and of course, homemade rugglas. And if you come on in right now, my main man Kevin over here, he will make you a quality smoothie that is not only healthy, but it is also delicious. Take my word for it, people. The Ruggla Shop, you are going to want to check this place out. The Ruggla Shop, my main man Kevin, I'm telling you, he makes some damn good smoothies. A lot of my family members have actually gone there in recent weeks, and they absolutely love it. I would like to personally thank Kevin, and I hope that he is having a wonderful day today. And our final new sponsor that I would like to mention is My Laundry Shop in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Here's a word from, of course, your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle, regarding My Laundry Room. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys require some professional laundry services, you guys should come on down to My Laundry Room. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, they got a great reputation of over 30 years here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, which gives them first-class name brand recognition. Secondly, they got high-quality VIP wash and fold service, which entails that you get top-notch cleaning at a very reasonable price. And of course, you get the assurance that your order will be ready when promised. And finally, and most importantly, you get the customer satisfaction knowing that My Laundry Room is a clean and comfortable environment, has great staff, and above all else, is a place where the customer always comes first. So come on down, see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the great team members over here. My Laundry Room, where your dirty laundry is their business. We here at the DJ Storms brand would like to thank My Laundry Room for the oh-so-gracious sponsor for Battle in the Borough, and we hope to see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all of the team members over at My Laundry Room in the Borough for Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. And I'd also like to mention that we got a beautiful card set for you guys. Tiffany Avatar and Tiffany Grady. It's the Battle of the Tiffs, if you will. The Battle of the Tiffs are going down at the Elmwood Park Rec Center. These two women are currently 1-1. And we are going to see the rubber match on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. And I also have some breaking news regarding this match. I recently spoke to the promoter of Kaiju Pro Wrestling, Miss Ashley Stevie, and she has agreed that we are going to make this match even bigger than it already is. Tiffany Avatar is the current Kaiju Pro Wrestling Phoenix Division Champion. So if she's able to remain the champion all the way till October 19th, then Tiffany Avatar will bring the Kaiju Pro Wrestling Phoenix Division Championship to Elmwood Park, and she will defend it against Tiffany Avatar. So if you guys are looking forward to seeing some quality women's wrestling, I highly encourage you to get your tickets right now. Tickets are $25 at the door. You can Venmo me, Cash App me. The links are in the description, or you can call 201-507-2577. We would also like to shout out these two individuals that have a history with each other. It is Bulldog Pittman and the Revolver, Alex Ryman. And Alex Ryman, he has been on a roll right now. He is looking forward to getting his hands on Bulldog Pittman. But of course, Bulldog Pittman, we're going to see if he's got that dog in him, people. So if you guys are looking forward to seeing this match, obviously you know the drill. $25 for tickets. DM me, serious inquiries only. Or you can pay at the door or call 201-507-2577. And I do have some big news. If you guys have not been paying attention, I will mention it again. This match could be greatly affected by what is going down on September 28th in Ridgefield Park. El Oso Blanco, as of right now, he is taking on Mateo Marcelos. Two friends, two proud fathers going at it. They got into a little back and forth a couple weeks ago on the Savage Storm Wrestling Super Show. But, ladies and gentlemen, on Saturday, September 28th, 2024 in Ridgefield Park, El Oso Blanco will be challenging the Revolver Alex Ryman for the Pro Wrestling Magic World Heavyweight Championship. And whoever wins that match will indeed go on to Battle in the Borough to defend the championship against their respective opponent. So if Blanco wins, he defends against Mateo. But if Ryman wins, he defends against Pittman. So if you guys are looking forward to seeing which match becomes a championship match, you might want to get your tickets now, not only to Battle in the Borough, but for Pro Wrestling Magic as well. And of course, we cannot forget one match that was confirmed very early on, and it's these two tag teams, the Now and the Audacity, Vic and Hale versus Micah and Seth Cortez. These two teams are no strangers to one another, and they have been going back and forth for quite some time now. The last time that they fought was actually back in October of last year at Outlaw Pro Wrestling, where it was the Audacity that came out victorious, but that's only because Vic was out injured and Hale had to go it alone. Hale had to do a 2-on-1 handicap situation. We all thought that Vic had it, but apparently he was injured. He couldn't make it. But now there are no injuries. There is nothing else that is going on. We are going to see exactly which team is the better team. Is it the Audacity or is it the Now? You guys are going to have to get your tickets to find out. And new match announcement. I am very, very pleased to announce that Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone, he is going to be making his way to Elmwood Park, New Jersey for the first time in his career, and he will fight the 21-year-old prodigy known as Marcus Mathers. And I recently just spoke to Billy Fetsky, the promoter of Titan Championship Wrestling, and Billy has agreed to allow Anthony Gangone, if he is still champion at that time, Gangone is going to bring the TCW MoBFI TV American Championship to Battle in the Borough, and if he's still champion, he will defend that title against the 21-year-old prodigy known as Marcus Mathers. I'm telling you, Battle in the Borough is shaping up to be one hell of an event. You guys haven't gotten your tickets, you might want to get your tickets right now. And the final sponsorship that I want to shout out in the beginning of the show, MyVen AI. Now, you guys know someone who's getting forgetful? I got a cool way to help. Ven is a new AI companion app and memory aid that remembers important details about your life. Ven can remember names, dates, medical information, account numbers, and a lot of other stuff too. It can also read documents, play trivia, or just chat with you like an old friend. And it's so simple that anybody can operate it. You guys ready for the best part? Venn is running a special deal, 40% off all of our listeners, just $2.99 a month. For more information, visit myvenai.com and use code DJ Storms. That is myvenai.com, myvenai.com, code DJ Storms. Now then, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Why don't we get straight into the festivities here on the Lightning Flash Update? We got ourselves a lot of material to talk about, and we are not going to waste any time. Jay White. Jay White, he was injured back during the match with Hangman Adam Page. Unfortunately, Jay White had to relinquish the Unified World Trios Championships, and unfortunately, he has been out for the last 2 months. And it seems as though the Bang Bang Gang has kind of fallen off the rails a bit. But according to Fightful, Jay White is healthy. Jay White is indeed healthy. He is fully recovered, and there are plans for him to return to AEW programming very, very soon. Now, how are they going to return him? How are they going to return him to AEW programming? I do not know. That is going to be up to AEW and Tony Khan. I don't know what's going on, but at this stage of the game, we are going to have to wait and see. But as far as right now, it is good news, very good news, that Jay White is coming back sooner rather than later. Moving on here, Charlotte Flair was injured in a match with Asuka back in December of 2023. And Charlotte, unfortunately, now listen, I may not like Charlotte, but I do not want to see anyone get injured. Charlotte, unfortunately, was injured, and Charlotte is currently recovering from, I believe it was a torn ACL, if I am not mistaken. And I just got the X live stream up and running. We are live on X right now. For anyone that missed the introduction, don't worry. I'll be doing some more advertising a little bit later on. But thank you very much for coming on in, everyone. I hope you guys are having a fun weekend over there in the land of X. Charlotte Flair, she has been rehabbing her knee injury for quite some time now. But according to Viper Reports and hashtag PWN, Charlotte Flair is slated to return at some point around November. Now, I don't really care for Charlotte Flair. I'm happy that she is recovering quite nicely, and I'm happy that she is going to be back to providing for herself and providing for her husband, Andrade. Obviously, I do not want to see anyone without a means to support themselves. But the one concern that I have right now, and this has always been my problem. My problem is whenever Charlotte Flair goes away and then comes back, whether it be because she's taking a break, whether it be because she is recovering from an injury, whether it because she has some personal things going on, vacation, whatever. WWE always does the same shit over and over again. WWE does the same shit over and over again with Charlotte Flair, where she comes back and she is automatically inserted into the WWE Women's Championship title picture. And Savage and I, we go back and forth on this, and this is the one thing that I hate about doing the stream with Savage, is because he's such a fucking mark for Charlotte Flair. Charlotte is not the greatest of all time. She is barely good. She's a good wrestler that was made to be a great wrestler in the light of WWE creative, because WWE loves to push Charlotte Flair because she has a famous last name. That is why Charlotte Flair is presented in a big light. She is not the best. Matter of fact, she isn't even the best of the four horsewomen. She's actually the worst of the four horsewomen. The problem that I have with Charlotte coming back is, what exactly are they going to do with Charlotte Flair? And based on history and based on the division right now, unfortunately, we are going to be subjected to a Charlotte Flair Nia Jax program for the Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair is currently recovering from injury right now. She is due back in November. I am happy that Charlotte is recovering quite nicely from injury. I don't want to see anyone without a means to support themselves, but I am not excited about Charlotte coming back to TV. You know why? Because every time she has come back from a vacation, an injury, a break, whatever, she's always inserted into the women's title picture. And you take a look at the division right now, the division is actually worse than when it was when she was currently on the roster before she got injured. The division is worse. There are no challengers for Nia Jax. So what do you think is going to happen? Charlotte Flair is going to come back and she's going to be a babyface against a heel Nia Jax. That's why they're hyping Nia up as the queen. Prepare yourself, people. It's going to be ugly. Moving on here. Bryan Danielson. He's got a big match tomorrow. He's got a big match tomorrow against Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. According to Fightful, Bryan Danielson, he is no longer under contract with AEW. And on top of that, Bryan Danielson does not have any kind of contract with any other company right now. So for all you fucking morons out there that are saying, oh, Bryan Danielson's going to go back to WWE. No, he's not. No, he's not. This is his last contract. Bryan Danielson is not going back to the WWE. Bryan Danielson is going to retire one way or another, probably at the end of the year. If he doesn't retire tomorrow, it's going to be at the end of the year, whether he wins or he loses. Bryan Danielson's priority right now, and this is why I'm leaning towards Swerve for tomorrow, Bryan Danielson's priority after finishing his in-ring run will be getting his neck better, which likely involves surgery, but he wants to continue helping AEW as much as he can, as long as they want him there. I can almost guarantee you that Tony Khan absolutely wants Bryan Danielson with him in AEW. Tony Khan does not want Bryan Danielson to go anywhere, and he's going to want to have Bryan Danielson backstage in AEW helping out the younger talent. But this is why I'm leaning more towards Swerve. Based on this report, it does seem like Bryan's got one foot out the door, and they're trying to make it seem like, well, they're really pushing it, so maybe Bryan Danielson will win. But I am going to be sticking with Swerve Strickland here. That and the fact that Hangman Adam Page, he is a part of the Casino Gauntlet match. So if Page is a part of the Casino Gauntlet match, this means more likely than not that Page is going to win, and he should win. Hangman Page needs to win. Hangman Page needs to get the victory. So with Hangman getting the victory, this further entails Swerve retaining the championship. Why? Because Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, that is the main story that they're telling here. If we do not see Swerve and Hangman for the World Championship, that is a huge missed opportunity. I'm actually still slightly pissed that they didn't go with Hangman and Swerve at All In. They should have, but they didn't. Moving on, speaking of All In, we could see a huge debut at All In. According to Fightful Select, Ricochet has indeed signed a multi-year contract with AEW, and he is currently traveling to London with plans to be involved in All In. And I could not be happier for Ricochet. Ricochet is not going to be a game changer. Ricochet is not going to be some sort of needle mover, but that doesn't matter, because the whole point of AEW, it's not to draw thousands and thousands of tickets and pack out arenas every single week. Would be nice if they had better marketing, but that's never the goal of AEW. The goal of AEW was never to be WWE. The goal of AEW was never to take over as the #1 wrestling promotion on the planet. The goal of AEW, plain and simple, the goal of AEW was to give people the opportunity to do what pro wrestling is all about. Not cut promos, not act like a movie, not act like a fucking soap opera. Go out there and wrestle. And that's exactly what Ricochet is going to do. And I could not be happier for Ricochet, and I could not be more ecstatic that Will Ospreay virtually lit a fire under WWE, under the WWE version of Ricochet. He lit a fire under Ricochet's ass and said, listen, you're being fucking mistreated over there. Come on over here and show everyone what you're really all about. Could not be happier for Ricochet. I cannot wait to see what Ricochet does here. Cannot wait. AEW and Warner Brothers, they currently have a new TV deal set, and the offer has been made from Warner Brothers. According to Fightful, Warner Brothers recently made another offer that is currently in AEW's hands. Those close to the situation are claiming that the previous offers were at least double AEW's current deal. So this offer could very well be triple AEW's current deal. According to Fightful, Warner Brothers has made AEW a new offer. The previous offer was at least double. This one could very well be triple. If that's the case, this is a great thing. This is a great thing, and it is only going to further shut everyone else up. Everyone that has been riding this anti-AEW wave. They're never ever going to get an extension on their TV deal, or they're never going to draw this many fans or draw that many fans. This is just going to be another step towards proving all the naysayers wrong, and I couldn't be happy about that. Now, the one thing that I am concerned about, and the one thing that I'm going to continue to say is, just because they're getting this deal, does that mean that Tony Khan's going to start putting more effort into the organization and structure of the television product? I certainly hope so, because right now, it's not all that good. Scott D'Amore was recently interviewed by Chris Van Vliet following his exit from TNA. Scott D'Amore recently revealed during the interview with Chris Van Vliet that he has found himself a full-time play-by-play commentator for his new wrestling promotion in Canada, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. And that commentator will be former WWE NXT play-by-play announcer Mauro Ranallo. He will be returning to professional wrestling as the voice of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I could not be happier about this. Mauro Ranallo is by far the greatest play-by-play commentator of this era, and I could not be happier that he is getting back into the world of wrestling. We have not heard Mauro Ranallo commentate since the match between Kenny Omega and Rich Swann back at TNA, or Impact Rebellion, when Kenny became a double champion, when he won the TNA Impact Championship and he retained the AEW World Championship. That was fucking fantastic. Super happy that he's back. Cannot wait to see what else is in store for Mauro Ranallo. And I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. This is not going to be the last time that you see Mauro Ranallo in pro wrestling. I can guarantee you that. Mauro Ranallo is back. Mauro Ranallo, he is the new voice of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, Scott D'Amore's new pro wrestling company that he is starting up. I am throwing out the prediction right now. This is not going to be the only time that Mauro Ranallo is going to commentate for wrestling. I'm telling you right now, as soon as that first episode of Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling begins, I guarantee you right now that we indeed are going to see Mauro Ranallo get reached out to by AEW, by TNA, by WWE, New Japan, whoever. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is just going to be a means of return for Mauro Ranallo. I guarantee, I would be shocked. I would be shocked that if Mauro Ranallo is still in Maple Leaf Wrestling within a year. I would be shocked. He will be back in a major wrestling promotion soon. Darby Allin. According to Wrestling Observer Radio, there has been talks within AEW, and I mean serious talks within AEW about potentially putting the AEW World Championship on Darby Allin. And this is something that I can absolutely get behind. Now, Dave Meltzer is apparently saying that it does not matter who wins at Wembley. Doesn't matter who wins at Wembley, but it is unclear when they are going to put the championships on Darby Allin. Currently unclear, and to be quite honest with you, I would not be doing it anytime soon. If we are going to see Darby Allin as the world champion, it's going to have to be on a much bigger stage. So, do I think it's going to be a Grand Slam? No, I don't think it's going to be a Grand Slam. Grand Slam, if you ask me, it's losing its luster. It's losing its luster. And AEW, listen, as much as I love the concept of AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, as much as I love that, I'm going to have to throw this out there. Arthur Ashe Stadium, it's not a place. It's not a place for weekly TV. I don't really give a shit whether it's Raw or whether it's SmackDown. Arthur Ashe Stadium is not the place to do a weekly TV taping. Matter of fact, what we need to have is we need to bring All In. Obviously, that's going to be in July next year. They're bringing Forbidden Door to London. We need to move All Out to a different month. We need to move All Out to August. Let's put Forbidden Door. Let's put Forbidden Door in June, in like mid-June. You got July. You got July with All In next year. And then you got All Out. Make that the August pay-per-view. And then you should make Grand Slam into its own pay-per-view. Starting next year in 2025, Grand Slam needs to be a pay-per-view. But that's a different conversation for a different time. But as far as Darby Allin goes, I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. There is serious consideration, according to reports, Darby Allin is seriously considered to be winning the AEW World Championship, although it is unclear when that is. Now, if I was booking this, I would not do it at Grand Slam. Grand Slam is losing its luster, and to be fair, Grand Slam should honestly be a pay-per-view going forward. Grand Slam should be a pay-per-view starting in 2025. But that's a different conversation for a different time. When will Darby win the world title? It's not going to be at Grand Slam. If I'm booking this, Hangman Page is taking the world championship from Swerve Strickland in Swerve's hometown of Tacoma at WrestleDream. Darby should be slated and potentially spotted in to win the world championship at next year's All In. You want to make a new star? You want to give Darby a big moment? Have him win the world title at All in Texas. And finally, Ricky Starks. The big one right here, Ricky Starks. What is going down with Ricky Starks? Well, Ricky Starks, at this point, Ricky Starks has one foot out the door. And Ricky Starks is all but confirmed to be leaving All Elite Wrestling when his contract is up. Apparently, according to Fightful, there is significant interest in bringing Ricky Starks into NXT once he is available, according to NXT sources. Now, I don't mind Ricky Starks going to NXT, and I'm pretty sure no one right now really is bothered by Ricky Starks potentially going to NXT. I don't understand why you would be. Ricky Starks going to NXT is a good choice. However, I'm going to mention the same thing that I mentioned with Stephanie Vicor, potentially Joe Hendry if he gets called to WWE, potentially Jordan Grace, Ethan Page as well. Ethan Page right now, he is the NXT champion. I'm not sure for how much longer, because at this rate, WWE could very well do the unprecedented and give the NXT championship to Joe Hendry. But even then, now he is doing well in NXT as the NXT champion. The main question that I have is very simple. Ricky Starks is currently being considered by significant sources to be sent to NXT when his AEW contract is done and over with. That's fine and all. And I do believe he's going to succeed in NXT. But what happens after NXT? That's one thing that I don't hear anyone talking about. Everyone is so gung-ho on getting all these people, so gung-ho on getting so many wrestlers over from AEW into WWE. Fine, but how many wrestlers are really going to have long-term success in the WWE? Obviously, the WWE is in need of some new fresh faces, but outside of Cody, no one that has gone over from AEW into WWE has achieved long-term success. Jade Cargill is a botch machine. Ethan Page, he could very well lose the title to Joe Hendry. Lexis King is a jobber. They may have decent careers in NXT, but will they succeed on the main roster? I hope so, but I don't have faith that Ricky Starks is going to follow in the same suit. If you guys have anything to say, if you guys think that Ricky Starks is going to succeed on the main roster, let me know. But at this rate, I'm just not buying it. He is going to succeed in NXT. He will. He will absolutely succeed in NXT. The problem is Triple H, he does not know how to build up his undercard. And again, I've been saying the same shit over and over again. I cannot even tell you how many times I have said that is the main problem. If WWE would fix their fucking undercard, I am telling you right now, at least 80% of their problems would be solved on the main roster. I'm telling you. Ricky Starks is great at what he does. Ricky Starks is phenomenal at what he does. And I'm sure that a lot of people would agree with me on that. Ricky Starks has all the tools in order to be a main event guy. And you know what? He had a decent year in 2023, but he did not have any faith in Tony Khan to continue building him up in 2024. He turned down the plans. Now, granted, Tony Khan's got his own problems. Tony Khan needs to organize his show better. Tony Khan needs to learn how to manage his roster better. He needs to delegate responsibilities to other individuals. But at least he tried with Ricky Starks. Obviously, Ricky Starks did not have faith in Tony Khan. He did not trust the process. And you have to imagine that Cody Rhodes was in Ricky Starks' ear. But how many individuals are going to follow in the same footsteps as Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes is one of a kind. Cody Rhodes is 1 in a million when it comes to professional wrestling. There are not many people like Cody Rhodes that can leave the WWE and come back an even bigger star. Cody did it. Drew McIntyre has done it before. Christian has done it before. There's a lot of people that have done it. Jeff Hardy's done it before. But that's the short list. How many individuals that have come over from AEW have genuinely gone on to have long-term success in WWE? Lexis King, the man is a fucking jobber. He's got a decent character. He's got a decent look. He's decent in the ring. But Shawn Michaels has booked him like shit. Then you got Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, she has not had one match in the WWE that has come close to the match that she put on with Chris Statlander on a random-ass episode of Rampage. And I'm not saying that because I'm an AEW shill. I'm saying that because that's the fucking truth. AEW could have absolutely booked Jade Cargill better. They could absolutely have given more to Jade Cargill to help her get better from an in-ring perspective, but they didn't. But now she came over to WWE. She spent the first half of her WWE career. She's been employed by the WWE for a year now. The first 6 months were spent in hiding. She made one appearance at the Royal Rumble. Then she went away for another 2 months. She had a meaningless match at WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure you even forgot she was even on WrestleMania this year. Then she won the women's tag team titles with Bianca. She became a botch machine. She has botched more times now than she ever did in AEW. Now we could see Jade and Bianca win the tag team titles again. The more that you push Jade Cargill in the women's tag team title picture, the more that you push this woman in the tag team title scene in the women's division, the less and less people are going to care. All Jade is a hot tag at this rate. She's actually making Bianca look bad. Shawn Spears is doing the exact same thing that he's doing right now. Shawn Spears did the exact same thing in AEW that he's doing right now in NXT. Ethan Page, he may be the NXT champion now. But A, how long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? You think that Ethan Page is going to make it out of No Mercy with the NXT championship? I'd be shocked if he does. Now, granted, it's unprecedented. No individual that was employed by a different wrestling promotion has ever won a WWE championship. It's never been done before. Granted, this is a new WWE, and maybe they may do that, but they'd only do that just to get Joe Hendry to sign. But either way, if Ethan Page makes it out of No Mercy with the NXT championship, what do you think is going to happen after he loses the NXT championship? Do you think that Ethan Page, when he gets called up to the main roster, you think that he's going to have a lucrative career on the main roster? How many individuals right now should be in better positions on the main roster? I've already went over this before. People like Karrion Kross, the Authors of Pain, Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci, DIY, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, Pete Dunne. Bronson Reed is just starting to stand out. He is just starting to break out. All these individuals that should be in better positions on the main roster, and they're not. What do you think is going to happen with the Lucha Bros? Lucha Bros may have a great run in NXT, but if they're on the main roster, there's a good chance that they're going to get lost in the shuffle just like everybody else. Tony Khan and Triple H both have problems with their roster. Tony Khan is doing too much, and he does not know how to book everyone in a meaningful way. Triple H has the resources to book everyone in a meaningful way. He just doesn't do it, and he only puts effort into the main guys that he has. The Judgment Day, Bloodline, Cody, Orton, Owens, Rollins, Punk, Rhea. That's it. So if Ricky Starks comes over to the WWE, is Ricky Starks really going to be a standout guy? He may have a great run in NXT, but what do you think is going to happen when he gets called up? You think that Karrion Kross is happy with where he is? You think that Dakota Kai is happy where she is? You really think that Ilya Dragunov, even though he just got up to the main roster, but Ilya Dragunov, you think he's happy where he is? Andrade and Carmelo Hayes are just starting to get on the right track. But either way, we're about to see a fourth match between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Are you really going to have faith in Triple H booking Ricky Starks if we're going to see Ricky Starks and Carmelo Hayes or Ricky Starks and Braun Breaker 4 or 5 times in a row on weekly TV? I'm sorry, but that's fucking lazy booking. I want Ricky Starks to succeed. I do. But outside of an NXT run, I have no idea what they're going to do with him on the main roster. Where is there even a spot for him on the main roster right now? And I'm going based on the way that Triple H books. I want Ricky Starks to succeed, but based on Triple H's track record, and I'm not saying Tony Khan's any better right now, but based on Triple H's track record with the individuals on the roster that are not named Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Bloodline, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I really don't have faith that they're going to do right by Ricky Starks. That's all I got for you right now. That's all I got for you as far as the news, rumors, and reports go. Thank you very much to Trivium. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for following me on Rumble. Please make sure that you share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Get as many people in here as possible. We're looking to build a nice, solid following over on Rumble as we speak. And we are really looking to take the Rumble community by storm, as well as the YouTube community. We're about to get into the weekly show reviews, but before we get into the weekly show reviews, I would like to shout out a couple more sponsorships. I would like to shout out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. Here is a word from your boy as to why you should go to Macbeth Farm for all of your interior landscape inquiries. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to share a little bit of information with you. As many people know, plants are extremely critical to any interior design. Matter of fact, research indicates that good interior landscaping is not only desirable, but it is a must-do green initiative to keep customers both happy and healthy. Now, at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they believe that plants, they do more than just occupy a corner of a lobby. That is why they offer a full line of interior landscapes for both corporate and residential settings, from office plantscaping, living walls, moss walls, and even plant and orchid arrangement. Macbeth Farm is your go-to resource for all of your professional horticulture needs. You guys can contact Macbeth at 201-387-7997, or you can see all of their creations online at macbethfarm.com. That is MacBethFarm.com. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, a family-owned business providing distinctive interior plantscaping for businesses across New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Thank you very much to Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for being an official sponsor for the DJ Storms brand, and of course an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough. Macbeth Farm is a fantastic, fantastic company run by fantastic people. And you know what else is fantastic? Peruvian food. Peruvian food is fantastic. And I got a great Peruvian restaurant and deli for you. Check this out. A word from your boy regarding DNN Deli, Peruvian restaurant in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you got a hankering for Peruvian food, come and visit my friend Will over at DNN Deli. Let me tell you something. They got themselves some fantastic homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru as well, so you know it is quality. Once again, that is DNN Deli here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and don't forget to catch Battle in the Borough, Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Battle in the Borough is making the rounds around Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and it is absolutely glorious to see. One more time, people, if you guys want to get some tickets, if you guys are coming to Battle in the Borough and you want to get yourself a solid ticket right now, please make sure that you DM me. Serious inquiries only. You can donate to my Venmo and you can donate to my Cash App. The links are in the description. Or you can call 201-507-2577. And now, let's get to the weekly show reviews. Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was a very solid programming. Matter of fact, Monday Night Raw is actually giving us more substance than SmackDown right now. I'm actually quite disappointed in SmackDown because they actually had something good coming out of SummerSlam, and this past Friday on SmackDown, it was kind of SmackDown wasn't all that exciting. It had some decent moments, but very repetitive. SmackDown is getting extremely repetitive, and I am not liking it. I'm not liking it at all. But Monday Night Raw was actually very solid. Randy Orton, he kicked off the show. He was all hyped, and he promised to be a 15-time world champion, but Gunther, he made it personal. He couldn't help but talk about my father and then my grandfather, and then he turned his back on me. So what did I do? I took advantage, and I hit him with the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO. So Gunther came out. Gunther, he was relishing in the fact that he's the world champion. You know, typical Gunther shit. Gunther said, the only thing I need you to do right now, and before he even finished his sentence, the crowd just drowned him out with boos. He called everyone in Florida rednecks, and he said that they all need to shut up and listen to what he has to say. He said, when you RKO'd me, you can go and celebrate all you want, but that's all the celebrating that you're going to do. You're the one that made this very personal. All you got is your USA chant. Since everyone seems to be so hyped to see you, why don't you hit another RKO? So Orton obviously didn't because Gunther was expecting it. And Gunther goes, you see, it will never happen again. Gunther said, the RKO will never happen again. He goes, after I'm done with you, I'm going to leave you a bloody mess, and you will look like a successful yet very underachieving one-trick pony. So Orton goes, let me tell you something. I'm going to be flying to Berlin with a hell of a lot of momentum behind me, but you're going to be flying to Berlin with a size 15 boot up your ass, extra wide. Kaiser then came out, and we had a 2-on-1 beatdown, and Randy Orton ended up getting destroyed by Gunther, and Gunther ended up standing tall, at least until the end of the night. So that was that. Randy Orton and Gunther with another solid promo. Very happy that we got a little bit of physicality here. I prefer some more physicality now. Pete Dunne and Sheamus. They had a very solid match. Pete Dunne looked good here. Sheamus ended up getting the win. After a nice back and forth, we had Pete Dunne. He tried to slide Sheamus's injured hand into the middle turnbuckle. Sheamus ripped the turnbuckle pad off and delivered a bro kick out of nowhere to get the win on Pete Dunne. Now, I would prefer to see Pete Dunne get the win here, but this is not going to be the end. And we are going to see more. Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. This match was meaningless. Maxine shouldn't even be in a ring. Ivy Nile's great, and I'm glad that she's a part of American Made, Chad Gable's new faction. But this ended in a no contest thanks to the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six came out. Sister Abigail, she ended up brawling with Ivy Nile. And we had Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy coming in and delivering the Sister Abigail finishing maneuver to Chad Gable. And next week, we actually have Uncle Howdy and Chad Gable one-on-one. Listen, I don't mind seeing the Wyatt Six on TV. I'm enjoying what the Wyatt Six are doing. But at this point, it's gone on for 2 months. Shit has gotten very repetitive with the Wyatt Six and Chad Gable. Next week needs to be the end. Next week needs to be the end. Next week needs to be the end of the line. We don't need to see any more. We do not need to see any more whatsoever of American Made versus Wyatt Six. We already had it. Now it's time that we build up American Made to actually be a little bit more serious, if you will. They should have a lot more momentum behind them than they already do. And then on top of that, I'd say we get the Wyatt Six into a new program. What new program is that? Well, based on what's going on Monday Night Raw, Wyatt Six and the Judgment Day could very well be the next top-tier program. Now, I wouldn't mind that at all. That could be interesting. That could absolutely be interesting. CM Punk, he has been PG Punk these last couple weeks, coming out way too happy, way too lovey-dovey. I'm not really liking this new lovey-dovey CM Punk shit. Like, listen, I've already said this once, and I'm going to say it again. I don't mind CM Punk being a babyface, but when CM Punk becomes CM Pander rather than CM Punk, and he just fucking panders to every crowd that he's in front of, that's when it becomes cringe. That's when it becomes downright cringe. It becomes downright nauseating. Let me tell you something. I really don't care. How you want to play it off. CM Punk, if he's going to be a babyface, he needs to be more serious. CM Punk is not a lovey-dovey, pandering babyface. It doesn't matter how many interviews that he wants to come out and claim that, oh, he's not a cancer to the locker room. I don't give a fuck whether you're a cancer or not. There is one fact about you that is true, and it's the fact that you're a fucking asshole. Phil Brooks is an asshole. He's already revealed that to be true. I don't care whether he's a babyface or a heel, but if you're in a feud like you're in with Drew McIntyre and you're coming out here smiling, playing up to the Florida crowd and saying that it's great to be alive on a Monday night, are you fucking John Cena or are you CM Punk? Let me tell you something. Phil, we know the truth about you. You're a fucking dickwad. I'm not saying that you gotta be a dickwad on TV, but if you're in a feud with Drew McIntyre and you're getting ready to whip the shit out of Drew McIntyre, I expect a little bit more oomph in your promos. I expect some teeth to be shown. Right now, you're a whimpering puppy. You're not a raging pit bull. So CM Punk came out. He tells the story about fan fanatics and how WWE is on a hot streak and how CM Punk is on a hot streak. All you animals, all you freaks, live and in living color. You see, this lady in the wheelchair, she told me that she defeated cancer. And then I met a lady from Taiwan who flew 15 hours for a pic with me. That means something to me. That is what drives me. Fans take the time to make bracelets for me, so I took the time to make a bracelet of my own. Drew says that he hates me, but I know that he's obsessed with me, and that brings me to the news. I went to Adam Pearce, and at Bash in Berlin, it's going to be Drew McIntyre and CM Punk in a strap match. I will be tethered to Drew, and you're going to have to carry your opponent to all four corners, but I am going to whip this bitch. Out comes Drew McIntyre. He talked about being embarrassed last week. He said, have you started drinking a strap match? Really? Well, you know what? I accept, said Drew McIntyre. And then, obviously, Punk wanted to challenge him. He's like, why don't we give the people a little teaser? And Drew said, no, I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. How about you lose the strap? You lose the strap, and then maybe I'll come in. Besides, said Drew, April and Larry are much safer at home with Drew McIntyre. And CM Punk, he ended the line by saying, it will be you that is attached to me. And that was pretty much it. Solid promo, minus the pandering by CM Punk. But it was a solid promo, and I fully expect this match to outdo what they did at SummerSlam. There's no reason why it shouldn't. This match is going to be more brutal. This match is going to be a lot more intriguing. This match should be a lot more impactful. This match should be a lot more ferocious than the match at SummerSlam. The match at SummerSlam was pretty much just it was a soap opera disguised as a match, because you had Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. But I do see CM Punk getting the win. It only makes sense for CM Punk to get the win, because now we're going to see a third match. We get a third match, and it's CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood 2024. That's the proper way to go. There's no other way around it. Odyssey Jones and the New Day, they took on the Final Testament. The New Day and Odyssey Jones end up getting the win. Odyssey Jones wins it with the spinning sidewalk slam. No heel turn yet, but it's coming. The Xavier Woods heel turn is coming, and I genuinely hope we see that sooner rather than later. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed took on The Miz in a no disqualification match. This was not a bad match. Not a bad match at all. It was a fun little match. They made do with the time that they were given. We had some steel chairs. We had some kendo sticks. We had some trash cans. We had Bronson Reed hitting The Miz with a Death Valley driver through the table. Reed hit the tsunami, and Reed got the win. Now, Bronson Reed, he has been on a roll as of lately. Bronson Reed has been kicking some ass as of lately, and I'm very, very happy to see that. Now, the question is, what is going to happen with Bronson Reed now? Well, he's fighting Braun Strowman next week. Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman will take place next week, but the question is, what's going to happen after the match with Braun Strowman? Now, I am still holding out for my own prediction, and this is probably the best way to go about it. Bronson Reed is going to be traded. Bronson Reed is going to be traded to SmackDown, and Bronson Reed will be built up to inevitably take the championship off of LA Knight. Obviously, you got a great mid-card over there with LA Knight. You got Carmelo Hayes. You got Tommaso Ciampa. You got Andrade. You got Escobar. You got Johnny Gargano. You got so many other mid-carders over on SmackDown that I'm not even fucking naming right now. Jacob Fatu, if they want to experiment with Jacob Fatu. They have a lot, and I mean a lot, of material on SmackDown to work with in the mid-card. However, the question is, are we going to see Bronson Reed get traded in the first place? It should happen. It should happen. I don't know for who, but it needs to happen. It needs to happen because there is no room for Bronson Reed on Monday Night Raw. At this rate, Bronson Reed is going to get to that level where he needs to be a champion by the end of September. Obviously, he's not going to be a champion by the end of September. He's got plenty of time, but on SmackDown, there's more with him to work with, and you could have Bronson Reed get the win over LA Knight at WrestleMania next year, and Bronson Reed is the new United States champion. That's the way to go about it. Bronson Reed needs to be traded. Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. This match never happened. Why? Because the Judgment Day came out and they beat down the Terror Twins. Now, I loved this shit for a couple reasons. Number one, the Judgment Day finally getting serious. Number two, I love that they had the male members of the Judgment Day hold down Damian Priest and made him watch as Rhea Ripley was thrown head first and shoulder first into the post by Liv Morgan. That was very well done right there. Very well done. Then we had Rhea Ripley delivering Liv Morgan delivering Oblivion to Rhea Ripley in the ring. Coup de grace on Damian Priest, and then a frog splash by Dominic Mysterio. This is the first time in a while where the Judgment Day actually felt like they were running Monday Night Raw again. This is probably the best that the Judgment Day has looked since the fall of 2023. And I can get behind that. I can absolutely get behind that. No issues. No issues whatsoever. Good beatdown. Good beatdown. Although, this is absolutely leading to the Terror Twins winning. The Terror Twins will get the win. It is going to be Priest and Ripley getting the victory, and ultimately, it's going to set up Liv and Rhea Part 2 at Bad Blood, and it's going to set up Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They took on Damage Control and the Pure Fusion Collective. WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Decent match. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was horrible. Listen, all the women worked hard in the match, but was it a match that's going to really reinvigorate interest in the women's division? Of course not. You know why? Because the women's tag team division means nothing. Of course, there's going to be a bunch of fucking Nimrods out there that are going to bend over backwards to defend the women's tag team titles. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. They don't mean shit. And when Jade and Bianca win them back at Bash in Berlin, they're still not going to mean shit. I am sick and fucking tired of the bullshit. I really am. It is fucking exhausting. It is exhausting beyond belief. Isla and Alba retain, of course. Why? Because they're going to give it right back to Jade and Bianca. Next week, we have an Intercontinental Championship #1 contenders match tournament beginning. Not sure how many people are going to be in it, but I'm assuming it's going to be 8 people. And you know something? I can absolutely get behind that. 8 individuals competing to find out who is going to be the next in line for Braun Breaker's Intercontinental Championship. I am down for it. I am absolutely down for it. And I'm very, very happy that they are continuing to put a spotlight on the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship is going to be very, very nice with Braun Breaker in the near future. Randy Orton and Ludwig Kaiser. Randy Orton and Kaiser put on a decent match here. Really nothing over the top, but it was a match to virtually gain Orton more momentum going into the matchup at Bash in Berlin. And ultimately, Orton got the win with an RKO. Gunther and Orton got into a brawl, and the show went off the air. Solid show. Solid show on Monday. Bash in Berlin is looking very good, and if they play their cards right, we could get some really, really, really good wrestling matches on that show. AEW Dynamite. This was the best show of the week by far. But before we get into AEW Dynamite, I want to shout out 2 more sponsors for Battle in the Borough. 2 more sponsors for Battle in the Borough. One of them is, of course, Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. Here's a word from DJ Shizzle Dizzle, the greatest man that ever lived, about Vito's Pizzas and Restaurant. I would like to thank them for being an official sponsor for Elmwood Park's first ever wrestling show in over 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I am here in front of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Some of the best pizza in Bergen County. If you're hungry, hell, even if you're not, come and stop by Vito's Pizza. And of course, be sure to catch Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Tickets, $25 at the door. DM me or call 201-507-2577. Thank you very much to Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. They are fantastic at what they do, and they got some pretty damn good pizza. If you guys are looking for some damn good pizza, I would highly encourage you to go out of your way and see Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. And right across the street, Toasted Bagel Cafe and Deli. They became one of our very first sponsors for Battle in the Borough 2024. So, you guys are in the Elmwood Park area. It is literally right down the street from the Elmwood Park Rec Center. Here's a word from me and Safa and her team over at Toasted, and we're going to tell you why you should come on down for a nice bite to eat, whether it's a bagel, whether it's some coffee, or whether it's some nice deli food. Check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I am here with the owner of Toasted. Her name is Safa, and also her team.
Hi, guys.
Safa, how are you today?
I'm good.
Let me ask you, how long have you been living in Elmwood Park right now?
I was born and raised in Elmwood Park, so basically 20 years.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about Toasted.
So we are a woman-owned business. We're also Middle Eastern-owned. We come from a Middle Eastern background. We also have our smoke shop right next door, Moonstar Smoke Shop. We just saw this opportunity. We wanted to fill the gap. So we have a lot of experience in the food industry, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to open something for the whole family. So we're very excited to bring this to the Elmwood Park community, and thank you guys so much for all your support.
And the Elmwood Park community thanks you. Ladies and gentlemen, Safa and the team of Toasted. I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Be sure to get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on October 19th, 2024. Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team of Toasted. They are all fantastic, and I am absolutely looking forward to seeing everyone at Battle in the Borough. You are the reason why DJ Storms is as successful as it is. Now then, let's talk about AEW Dynamite. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. We started off with Tony Schiavone moderating a contract signing between Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné. Now, the last several weeks have been extremely lackluster. I mean, Britt went and got herself fucking suspended. Britt got herself fucking suspended completely and utterly stupid on her part, because she got into a fucking backstage argument with MJF over some stupid shit that's not even in MJF's control. But we needed something. We needed something to get us through this show and make the match feel a little bit more important. They needed this segment, and they delivered on the segment. Cardiff, first of all, Cardiff looked great. Cardiff, Wales, sold out, over 4,200 people. It looked fantastic. Looked absolutely fantastic. Absolutely loved the layout in Cardiff. And to be quite honest with you, I hope they go back. I hope they go back. If anything, I would not mind if they do a pay-per-view in Cardiff. Would not mind whatsoever if they do a pay-per-view in Cardiff. That would be fucking unbelievable if they did. The vibe was great. Sold out crowd in Cardiff. So the crowd was great. The crowd actually made the show better than it was. So Moné said that Britt is the past and Moné will forever be the future. Baker said, that's cute. You could say whatever you want, but when I think of the past, I think of you hobbling out on crutches last year. Before there was a CEO, there was a DMD. Monet said, see, these people see themselves in you, a loser. Crowd chanted, shut the fuck up. Love that chant. I absolutely love that chant. Monet said Baker had to get a degree to fall back on. Meanwhile, I've been all in since I was 10 years old. You will never be like me, and you will never beat me. Baker said, you pride yourself on being a star maker, but I'm the baddest bitch on the block. You made a difference, but that person doesn't exist anymore. And this was great. I was very, very happy that Britt Baker brought this up. That person doesn't exist anymore. That was a great line for Britt Baker. You're a smug, arrogant ass, and you only care about money, not your legacy. I hope you find that girl, because when I win, that's the girl that I want to be able to say that I beat. Now, we may not be able to touch each other, but this bitch, and she pointed to Camille, this bitch is getting on my nerves. She hit Camille with the mic, knocked Camille into Monet, and then delivered a crossbody onto both of them on the chair. They needed this. They definitely needed this, and I'm very happy that we got something here. This was a very, very, very good segment to start off the show. Solid stuff. Baker got a couple nice zingers in there, and now we look forward to All In tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. If anything, I would not mind if Monet and Baker kicked off the show. That would be a great, great means of kicking off the show. And after a great match with Monet winning, and then we get the return of Jamie Hayter, that's how you start a fucking show. That's how you start a show. Chris Jericho, he took on Tommy Billington. This was probably the best Jericho match that we've seen in a while. This was probably Jericho's best match since the match with Hook back at Dynasty of this year. No joke. No joke. Kid you not. So Billington, he had a couple nice spots here. Billington, he delivered a tombstone to Jericho, cross-body onto Brian Keith. Billington went for the diving headbutt, but Jericho caught him with a code breaker in midair, which looked very nice. Jericho gets the win, 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Jericho took the mic and he said, "Hi, guys." He said, "Hook, you stupid bastard. I'm going to do the same thing to you at All In that I did to Tommy Billington." Hook came out. He stood face-to-face with Jericho before Big Bill took out Hook, and he delivered a chokeslam to him. That was that. Hook Hook received a chokeslam. Big Bill delivered a chokeslam to Hook, and that was pretty much that. One final sell. This needs to be the end. I'm going to throw it out there. I've said it once. I'm going to say it again. This has to be the end. This needs to be the end of the Chris Jericho Hook storyline. And after All In, we need to have Chris Jericho take a fucking vacation. He needs to take a vacation, and he needs to spend some time away. The learning tree shit is an overall failure. I've said it once, I'll say it again. It's funny at times, but the overall gimmick sucks. It just doesn't click. If anything, Brian Keith is actually more entertaining than Chris Jericho at this stage of the game. Give Hook the win. Let that be the end. Toni Storm and Saraya, AEW Women's World Championship. This is actually a decent little match right here. And it does prove that if you just let some of these women go out there and wrestle and you put them in a serious scenario like Saraya, we're going to get a decent showcase. And that's what we got here. Decent match. These two women, you can imagine they're friends. These two women, you can imagine that they are very familiar with each other's work. And we got ourselves a decent match here. Saraya, she looked good. She looked good here against Toni. So Saraya with a cannonball off the apron. Coming back from commercial, Toni mounted a comeback. We had a DDT on Saraya and a fisherman suplex for a 2. Saraya with the nightcap for a 2. Saraya, sunset flip powerbomb and a cradle DDT. Tony grabbed the rope. Tony with a choke bomb for a 2. Saraya rolled up Tony for a 2. But Tony delivered a big kiss across Saraya's lips. If you will, it was a lip lock. Wink, wink. And then she delivered the Storm Zero. And Tony Storm gets the win over Saraya. Decent little match right here. Nothing over the top, nothing too crazy, but it was decent. And that's pretty much all I could ask for. Now, why did they do this match? They did this match for no other reason other than this was probably Tony Storm's last hurrah. This was Tony Storm's last major title defense because Mariah May is ultimately going to be the one to take the title off of her tomorrow, which she should. Now, the build has been very, very good. They could have done a little bit more, but the overall build has been very, very solid, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Afterwards, Mariah May, she delivered a big shoe shot right to the head of Tony Storm, and that was that. So, we get this match. I see Mariah May getting the win. Now, the one thing that I'm concerned about is this. They're going to have to build up some baby faces. Now, since Mina Shirakawa is back, Mina Shirakawa is back on AEW TV, could we be looking at a Mina Shirakawa versus Mariah May feud for the Women's Championship? I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind that. I certainly wouldn't mind that at all. Matter of fact, I think that more Mina is good for the heart. Will Ospreay, he came out and the crowd in Cardiff absolutely fucking exploded for Will Ospreay. An absolutely tremendous ovation. MJF came out and the crowd booed heavily. This is the MJF that I love. Love this shit. So Ospreay, he talked about his journey and how he has to clean up the mess that MJF made. He says MJF talks about all of these people chanting his name louder than Ospreay. He says, I don't need to flip or flop. I don't need to be a flip merchant in order to get the crowd to chant for me, said MJF. Crowd chanted, shut the fuck up. And MJF, being MJF, he goes, no. MJF then came back from an early injury, he said. I came back from an early injury, and I came back because AEW and Warner Brothers begged me to clean up your mess, you arrogant little prick. Ospreay called MJF a bellend, which I laughed at. Ospreay then talked about AEW putting wrestling first. And then we saw you as the world champion, and we all started giggling, but the joke went on too long. Nobody talked about the main event last year as being a clash of the best. They were talking about it as two friends jerking each other off. I wasn't even employed last year, but Tony Khan called me, and I love this shit. He said, please put on a good wrestling match because I can't rely on my world champion to do it. We are meant to cater to them, and this is why I love Ospreay. We're meant to cater to them. We are meant to restore the feeling, but bruv, I am the feeling. MJF says he only cares about winning. MJF said he believed that the company would be safe, but who the hell are you? You're a red coat terrorist. Everyone loved MJF because I'm the best professional wrestler on God's green earth. Who told you that you were the best? The fans? That is so sad because they know nothing about pro wrestling. Why? Because they like your matches. So you can be the feeling, I'll be the facts. You got one move in the chamber, the Tiger Driver, and you aren't man enough to pull the trigger. So you can feel all you want. Facts don't care about feelings. So MJF, he stops there and Ospreay goes, let me tell you something, bruv. The history books can be rewritten, but what can't be rewritten is how the people feel. So you can go to Japan, you can go to Europe, go to America, and they'll all tell you that Ospreay's the best wrestler. That's why I can't lose. It took you this was probably one of the best lines from Ospreay I've ever heard. He said, it took you 4 years to get over with them. It took me 4 beats of my music and they're chanting my name before I even get out here. That was fucking brilliant by Ospreay. One of the best lines I think I've ever heard. So MJF said, before the show, I spent a little time with your wife and your so-called kid. But here's the thing. That kid is from another individual, but Ospreay stepped up and raised that kid like his own. But Will, after the conversation that we had, I have a feeling that the next kid that she has isn't going to be yours either. Ospreay then asked what the fine was if he hit MJF, and he said, you know what, it's worth it, bruv. So we get the security in the ring as Ospreay and MJF went at it. It was bedlam. MJF then beat down Ospreay with the ring. He hit a brain buster, and he ended up standing tall after he counted his fake pin. He counted the imaginary pin, 1, 2, 3. Easily, by far, one of the best in-ring segment. It may very well have been the best in-ring segment all year. It may very well have been the best in-ring segment all year. Absolutely fucking phenomenal in every sense of the word. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. Great shit. From start to finish. Everything. I'm not even lying to you. If Bryan and Swerve wasn't the main event, I would not mind this match being the main event of All In. Absolutely fucking great. Unbelievable shit. Claudio Castagnoli and Kazuchika Okada. This was a first time ever match. First time ever match. And these two individuals, they absolutely delivered. This was great. Now, the question is, what's going to happen now? Because this ended in a time limit draw. 20-minute time limit draw. I'm guessing we're probably going to get a rematch All Out. Now, I don't necessarily mind this, but there is something that I'm going to need to shed some light on. And I really don't want to sound like a negative prick here, but it needs to be said. AEW is great at what they do when it comes to the in-ring action. That is their bread and butter. AEW is great when it comes to the in-ring action, but in recent months, they're relying way too much on the time limit draw. They are relying way too much on the time limit draw. And the reason being is because they are not properly building up challengers for the championships. Okada needed a match like that because he hasn't defended the championship in like 3 months. So he needed a match like this against Claudio, and we're probably getting a rematch at All Out. That's fine, but we need to reinstitute the rankings. We need to make wins and losses matter, because if we don't, then you're going to have AEW constantly relying on the time limit draws in order to build up challengers and future matches for its champions. It's the same thing that WWE does, relying on DQ finishes. We need to bring the rankings back because AEW is over-abusing the time limit draw. So this match ends in a time limit draw. The Young Bucks came out with Jack Perry, and they said that you're not getting 5 more minutes. So I'm guessing that we're going to get the rematch at All Out regardless. Darby Allin, FTR, and the Young Bucks, and Jack Perry. 6-man tag. This was a good match. It was a nice little hype-up match for what's going down at All In on Sunday. FTR and Darby Allin get the win. Very happy that they got the win. They were the right individuals to get the win. Why? Because the Young Bucks and FTR, they are not going to be the winners on Sunday. Darby does not need to beat Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks do not need to lose the tag team titles yet. And it's certainly not going to be to FTR. Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson, they had their final showdown Nigel McGuinness moderated it. And I love this shit because Nigel McGuinness, right? Nigel McGuinness, he was hyping up Swerve, and he didn't even want to bring out Bryan Danielson. Swerve was talking about how he's felt disrespected by Bryan, about how he's ready for retirement, but he's going to be the one to retire Bryan, and he won't be able to step back into the ring. Maybe you get that fighting spirit again. Maybe you go to an independent show without me, but I'll be there to beat you down. Maybe you're in Arena Mexico. I'll beat you down. Or a sit down with your wife. Guess what? I'm going to be there. Bryan then came out. He ran out to the ring. He hit the Busaiku knee on Swerve. Bryan then took the mic. He said, maybe you're confused. I don't talk for 20 minutes about myself. I know who I am. I'm the best fucking wrestler in the world. And I have been for 20 years. I think that you'll be the one. What did I write down here? You said that you think that you're going to cripple me on Sunday. I can't even read my own fucking handwriting. It's unbelievable. He said, you think you're going to cripple me on Sunday at Wembley Stadium? Let me tell you something. For my peers, for my wife, for my son, for my daughter, you're going to have to kill me. And I will leave my soul in this ring. Tonight, there is one question left. Can Bryan Danielson beat Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Championship? Crowd was chanting, yes, yes, yes. Bryan said, they know the answer, and you know the answer. And the crowd were chanting, yes, yes, yes. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I mean, he makes a good case, but I'm still going to go with Swerve. I'm still going to go with Swerve. Bryan doesn't need it. I understand you want to send out Bryan on a high note, but at this stage of the game, it's not necessary. It's just not necessary. It doesn't need to happen. It doesn't need to happen. And based on the fact that Bryan stood tall on the go-home show, I'd say it's a good chance that Swerve's going to retain. And to be quite honest with you, I hope he does. Because if Hangman's getting the shot against Swerve Strickland, if he wins the Casino Gauntlet match, then Swerve winning would be the right outcome. And I can guarantee you Bryan probably wants to put over Swerve Strickland, and Bryan wants to really enhance Swerve Strickland overall. That right there would be a very selfless act by Bryan. Tony Khan's probably pushing Bryan to win. I hope he doesn't win. I'm going to go with Swerve. But this was a great show. Easily the best show of the week. Dynamite, they brought the fucking heat. Very, very happy about that. And now we are going to head into All In on Sunday. SmackDown wasn't necessarily a bad show. It really wasn't necessarily a bad show, but I don't know. It was a little, it just felt a little repetitive. It felt a little repetitive. It felt as though they kind of took, I don't want to say a week off, but semi, I would say. Like half of the shit was repetitive, half of the shit was fairly new, but ultimately it was serviceable for the time that it went on, but really wasn't all that fun. We did have some good matches on the show, I will tell you that. Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. I mean, this was typical shit. They're trying to play Kevin Owens off as, hey, he's going to turn on Cody because he always turns on all of his friends and all that shit. We get A-Town Down Under versus Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens in the main event of the show. I'm sorry, but I need to mention this. Why exactly are we not getting back and forth promos with Cody and Owens? Why are we not getting Kevin Owens talking about how much the match means to him? Why are we not getting Cody Rhodes talking to us about why he needs to beat Kevin Owens, about why this match is important to his title reign? That's what I'm worried about. That's what I am concerned about. Why is A-Town Down Under being used as the glue to hold together this Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens program going into Bash in Berlin? It's very, very, very odd. It's almost like 2016, right? It's almost like 2016 where we're seeing Dean Ambrose, back when Jon Moxley was Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles, they're fighting over the WWE Championship, and James Ellsworth is being used as the glue to keep them together. Now, I'm not saying that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are like James Ellsworth, but the similarities are there. It's a program that should be great, but it's not great because you have unnecessary shit being added to the program, i.e. A-Town Down Under. We really didn't need A-Town Down Under versus Cody and Owens again. LA Knight. He took on Santos Escobar. This was LA Knight's first defense of the United States Championship. Angel and Humberto, they actually got ejected from ringside. And I'm actually happy that we got ourselves a very, very solid title defense. And I'm hoping that they continue the momentum with LA Knight because the U.S. title's in good hands with LA Knight. So Escobar was in control with a Meteora on the announce table, which looked very nice. We had a frog splash for a 2 count. Knight with an atomic drop and a discus lariat. Knight with a neck breaker and a side effect. Escobar with a super kick. He was sent off the middle rope, and LA Knight with a diving elbow drop that connects. Nice BFT. BFT, and Knight wins. 1, 2, 3. Knight retains. And LA Knight is still the United States champion. Solid match here. Very, very, very solid match. Looking forward to seeing how everything plays out with LA Knight. Let's get him in there with Andrade. Let's get him in there with Carmelo Hayes. We got a U.S. title open challenge next week in Berlin. Should be fun. Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, and Alba Fire. They took on Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. Again, similar to what's going on Raw, it's not like these matches are bad. It was a decent little match, but it's meaningless. You know why it's meaningless? Because there's no focus on wins and losses, number one. The women's tag team division is dead. No one gives a fuck about it. And Jade Cargill is nothing more than a hot tag. That's pretty much it. You don't like the truth? Too bad, so fucking sad. Sorry. Don't really know what to tell you. The Bloodline, they came out, and Solo, he was talking about the OTC. He said the OTC is DONE. Whether it's Owens or Cody, I got next, and I will bring the Undisputed Championship back to my family. He then said, my enforcer, Jacob Fatu, step up. Give me your title. And Jacob Fatu is about to give him the championship, but he stopped him, and he said, no, wait. Matter of fact, give it to Tongaloa. Give it to Tongaloa. He said that, I need you to be my own personal enforcer. So he embraced Jacob, and Jacob is screaming into the microphone. He's going, I love you, Solo. I love you. And then out comes the Street Profits. Ford called them Bloodline version 8675309, which I actually laughed at. So we get this match, and this was a very good match for what it was. And I'm glad that the tag team division is still getting a showcase. Ford and Dawkins looked good here. Ultimately, it ended with Jacob Fatu delivering a super kick to Montez Ford, I believe it was. Montez Ford behind the referee's back. And then we saw a Samoan spike by Solo Sikoa. Obviously, the bloodline retained. They then beat down the Profits. That only led to DIY coming out. And it seems as though DIY is not done with the bloodline. We then had a Samoan spike on Gargano and Ciampa. So maybe we see the bloodline, maybe they take on DIY and the Street Profits in an 8-man tag. Maybe we see that. Nia Jax and Michin next week is confirmed for the Women's Championship. It's a street fight next week. And then in the main event, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, they fought A-Town Down Under. Pretty typical tag team main event. Very lazy, not exciting. The biggest thing to come out of this is Owens. He looked like he was going to hit Cody Rhodes with the championship. He ended up giving it to Cody. And then he stared face to face with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And he was begging him to come in. Cody obviously was a little iffy about it. But that was how the show went off the air. Not necessarily a horrible show, but very repetitive show. And this is the one thing that I do not like. I can't stand this shit about WWE TV. They are very, very repetitive when it comes to their weekly shows. Very, very repetitive. Rampage. Typical Rampage. 5 matches. They all meant nothing. The Conglomeration, they defeated Brian Cage, Johnny TV, and the Beast Mortos. The one thing that I want to... This is one thing that I need to talk about with Rampage. Why exactly are the rankings not enforced? Because a match like this with the Conglomeration, this match should mean something. You know why? How many wins have the Conglomeration got right now? How many wins have the Conglomeration gotten? The Conglomeration has literally been on a 4 to 5 match winning streak. And they are not fighting for the Trios Championships? It's fucking stupid. Roderick Strong defeated Fuego del Sol. Mina Shirakawa defeated Robin Renegade. Hikaru Shida actually was the best thing on the show. Shida cut a great promo saying that she's the ace of the division and she needs to start showing everyone what that really means. If we get more Shida and a more vicious version of Shida on TV, that is something that I can get behind. The Gates of Agony, they defeated the Iron Savages, and in the main event, the Von Erichs, they defeated the Outrunners, and that was pretty much Rampage. At this rate, I may end up stop covering Rampage because they are not trying to improve the show whatsoever. I may follow in the same suit that I followed in with NXT. I may have to replace Rampage with Collision. No fucking joke. We're wrapping it up a little bit early today. I'm surprised we got through shit that quickly, but nevertheless, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the stream. Thank you to the Final Horse. Thank you to James Punaseca. Thank you very much to DG70 and D9. You guys are awesome. One more time, happy birthday to James Punaseca. I greatly appreciate you. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Donate to me on Venmo. Donate to me on Cash App. Become a member of the channel. Hit the super chats, the super thanks, the super stickers. And, of course, above all else, be sure to get your tickets for Battle in the Borough. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, people, I have a very important question to ask you. The question is, who runs the IWC? Who runs the IWC? I will tell you who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!